Yeah, so from a young age, sports has always been a part of my life, and a lot of people just think it's just an athletic thing, and you know, it builds more than that though. It builds character, and from a young age, I started playing football, and that brought me together with not only my friends but my coaches too, and it teaches skills such as leadership and leading the team. As my school had to go through winning some district titles and finally make it over the hump for a state championship before I got over senior year. And the character we built through that brought us together closer, and it just made the whole team what it was.
Does sport build character for children and youth? Stay tuned. A study done by the CDC back in 2020 claimed that 54.1% of kids ages 6 to 17 in the U.S. participated in some form of sport within the past 12 months. Now, with that amount of participation and that many years being involved in such an activity, there's no argument to say that it doesn't hold some effect on an individual. But when it comes to the topic of sports building the characters of our youth, that's where it can get a little gray amongst people. Many people have claimed that they are who they are from sports and that it molded them into productive and confident members of society. But many is not everybody, and according to sports sociologist Jay Coakley, there have been 40 years of research on athletes of all levels that all led to the same thing of sports not being a character-building activity. Now, while that may seem extreme, there's always room for more research, and there is definitely a case to be made about how sports can build the characters of our youth. One thing to make clear here is that this question obviously is not black and white. People have and will continue to have negative experiences in sports that may branch into poor habits in life. But still, on the other hand, many other people have benefited from sports and could easily be shown as proof that sports do in fact build character. If something is done right, you will see positive results. A study that was done by Dr. Amanda Visick focused on pieces of sports that children found fun. The results of these studies were not what many may think. Some may believe that these fun variables would come from winning stats or just goofing off or having a good time in sports, like not sports related, but it's actually the opposite. The strongest points of fun that they found amongst children came from the actual meaningful parts of sport. Like, for example, working on the fundamentals, like just getting better at the sport itself, or just being focused and just like taking it seriously and achieving a common goal with their fellow teammates. This study does a good job of showing what can come from a positive team sport experience. Sports like these are designed to test individuals, and if taken seriously, will have great effects on the early mind of a child. They require you to work on skills in a repetitive fashion for long periods of time, and they test you by putting you under pressure in intense situations. These tasks may not sound like they would qualify for fun, but doing all of this, then seeing success follow in its footsteps is where the numbers from that study come in. And it's what keeps kids playing and also what drives positive effects from sports into the real world. The ability to work on something in the form of reps over and over again is a great skill to have in any situation. And being strong in the face of adversity is another one that many can put to good use later in life, whether it's the workforce or even in a social environment.
Man, I want to say that football is not just a game, but a way of life.
There are many different skills that can be gained from sport, but arguably one of the biggest ones is the ability to handle failure. American psychologist Angela Duckworth talked about character development through sports on the Early Years blog and mentioned something Carol Dweck has said about the topic. She talked about having a growth mindset and how this mindset lives off the challenge and looks at failures as a way to bounce back. Now, this makes the discussion of character development much more pertinent as our youth learn through sports what it's like to fail, but they will also come to understand that there is indeed a light at the end of that tunnel, and with time, they will keep getting better and better at finding that light after a failure. Now, while all of these are revolving around the individual themselves playing the sports, it's important to keep in mind the environment they are doing this in and the key factors around all that. What is mainly being referenced here are the coaches. While the sport itself and the teammates around you are huge factors, the make or break for a lot of kids' experiences can be dependent on the coaches. As mentioned earlier, some people didn't have great memories associated with their time in sport. Now, this is not always due to something negative like that, but there have been instances of poor coaching that have resulted in these unfortunate events. To speak on the positives on this topic is much easier. Within sports, when it comes to constantly working on a skill through reps, or even just keeping a healthy diet or well-rounded workout routine, it takes a determined individual. Individuals like that who can do it all on their own are most likely in the minority from other kids. But a coach that cares and has the strings connected to these kids where they can motivate is what creates hundreds more of this type of individual. Many people forget how important of a position it is being a coach for kids. At a young age, they have the ability to really shape the early lives of our youth and pave the way. Dr. Sheila Olson Walker talks about the best ways coaches can contribute to kids and mentions points like showing them how to prevail under heavy adversity, seeing hope and possibility in critical moments, and keeping a calm and graceful character in tougher times. This does not take away from the point of sports building character, but rather shows the coach as being a part of the sports experience and a helping hand in reaching that character. Aside from being diligent and having good work ethic, a huge part of character development lies on the social side of things. As long as kids let it happen, sports from a young age is arguably one of the best ways to get yourself out there socially. Not only does it help kids get into socializing and bonding with one another, but it also improves teamwork and communication skills, which are vital in almost everything in life. And the final piece of this social puzzle is also the confidence that will come with it socially. Through the certain roles kids will have on teams, this will allow them to voice their opinions, and in time, they will continue to gain more and more confidence in that statement, which will roll into life perfectly.
We have an opportunity to help our students develop not only individual character attributes, but positive social skills as well. Group social dynamics, or teamwork, not only wins games and championships, but can also help us collaborate and communicate with groups in all sorts of social settings.
With all of this put together, we all know that sports do have positive effects on our youth. It comes through with building a work ethic, being able to handle adversity in life, well-rounded social personalities, being able to take criticism and stay focused. The coaches that come along with them will also instill lessons into our youth that will stay with them forever. And on top of that, relationships are made that can last a lifetime. The information that has been gathered and studied say a few things. One said that the part of sports most kids find fun is actually working hard and focusing to complete a common goal. Another talks about how kids learn to handle failure much better throughout their life. But at the same time, another study claimed that there was no proof sports were a character-building activity at all. It's obvious sports are not the only thing that can build a person. We all go through many different experiences in our life, and even if you were in sports, there's no doubt other big events have happened to you that may have shaped you for the better. But there's so much evidence around that talks about people who have improved from their sports, and other people blatantly saying that they would be completely different had they not played. This discussion is not black and white. Technically, no one can really prove whether sports by themselves build character completely or that they don't at all. All humans take in experiences differently, but then again, topics like these are never going to be 100% agreed on all around. But many would likely agree that there is a positive effect with these activities, from physical all the way to mental and emotional. And if you look around at people who have been associated with organized sports since their youth, they can all likely tell you a few different things about how it changed them for the better. From this discussion, it's critical to know that no matter the sport, there will always be the same values in each that can be instilled onto your children: discipline, teamwork, and self-worth. These are three things that are essential for any productive human in today's society. And it is also vital to make sure our youth are getting out and just meeting other people and learning these skills early in life. So once it's time for them to finally go off on their own, they'll have a little softer of a landing. They are our future, and it's our job to make sure they get involved and that the people we put in charge of them in sports have the same values we do for all our children and youth.